Hey everyone, welcome to the Brando Sandoz baking channel, and I'm so happy you made it. Today we've got something really special. It's a carrot cake, but we're doing a nice little plated dessert out of it. It's not just your old lonely carrot cake that you'll see at the local bakery. I got a few twists up my sleeve, and I hope it's enough to keep you entertained throughout the process here. So as you can see, I've got my wet mixing into a bowl here. So that's my carrots, my pineapple, my eggs, my sugar counts as wet because it's gonna melt, and then we're gonna add some seasoning and some salt, and I'm just gonna get ready for my next bowl, which is our dry. That's gonna be our flour, our baking soda, our baking powders, shit like that. You could also add your cinnamon in here, but I don't care. I add it in the wet. It looks kind of fun. It's nice and dark. And this recipe is really good for it. You can just mix your dry right into your wet. It's not going to lump, I find. It's got a lot of fat and a lot of liquid, so it seems to be good for it. But due to all that fat and all that wet that's in this cake, it does take quite a while to bake. So even the sheet cake took about 25 to 30 minutes. But we're out of the oven and we're on to our next step, which is the caramel sauce. And that's really easy. We're just gonna start by caramelizing some sugar, which happens at, I believe, 320 to 360 degrees Fahrenheit, or that's like 160 to 180, somewhere around there in Celsius. I rarely actually keep a candy thermometer for a caramel sauce. I just visualize it. You can really see when the caramel is ready, truly. And I like to add my butter before my heavy cream. I find that with that high temperature, it kind of adds a little bit of a brown butter effect, which is kind of nice. It adds a little bit of flavor in my mind. And lastly, we're just gonna season with a nice amount of salt. You really wanna taste it. Like, we all know salted caramel is a great flavor combo. But we'll cross it off the list and we're on to our next step. It's our cream cheese mousse. And honestly, this is just a tiramisu play. Like, all I've done is a tiramisu recipe, but I've taken the mascarpone out and I've added cream cheese, Grand Marnier, and a little bit more orange flavoring. All these flavors are gonna balance out the like nice deepness of those cinnamons and nutmegs and gingers that we have in our cake. So we've got our egg yolks and our sugar here, and we're just whisking it up and cooking it, honestly, until it gets a little bit airy and frothy. And this is a great time to add your gelatin or any sort of flavorings that you wanna add. I didn't show my gelatin being added, but I bloomed it and it did go in that stage. So if you do that, that's the right time to place it. This guy go into there first, and this guy go into there second. So we're folding our whipped cream into this mixture first, and I find that the less time that the egg whites are in contact with fat, the better, which is why we do that. That's bullshit. So between you and me, I was pretty disorganized at this moment, and this really frustrated me, but we're pushing through. We've got the mousse complete, and here are our cones. They're just little cornets that we use for piping usually, but I figured they look kind of like a carrot, so I figured I'd start a new viral trend. Instead of that mango-looking dessert, we'll make a frozen carrot mousse cake-looking dessert, huh? Yeah, it's gonna catch on. Don't you think anything otherwise? Come on, support me here, please. This is also primarily a plated dessert channel though, so we're still gonna push through with our plated desserts. So here it is. I've got some rounds, I've got a full sheet cake that I'm just gonna cut some shapes out of. It'll be nice to have some different shapes and options so we can plate differently down the line, of course. But if you're noticing anything, this is very similar to a tiramisu structure. I've literally turned my carrot cake into a tiramisu carrot cake. Minus the coffee, of course. We've added more orange flavorings and stuff like that. We'll cross those carrots off the list and we'll get back to them in a little bit here. But now it's time for our cold component, which is a sour cream gelato or ice cream, and that's 3 egg yolks and some sour cream. And honestly, I noticed that the sour cream actually curdled my egg yolk a little bit because I had let them sit too long. So if you're gonna do this, maybe hold the sour cream and mix it in after you've tempered and cooked and done the whole process. I think that would be a better product. But I have already mixed them, so here we are. We're about to temper into our egg yolk and back into the temperature. And now we've got to cook this to roughly 78 to 80 degrees Celsius. You do not want to exceed that, or you will be making scrambled eggs. I'm not making breakfast currently, so we're gonna spin this liquid for roughly 15 minutes. I think that's all it took. Maybe a little bit longer if you want. I found this one spun pretty quickly, probably because of all the fat content. And we'll move on to our Pecan Flourentine, which is super easy and quite delicious. We'll start by making a basic caramel again. So you got that sugar, we got our butter and our cream going in, and then I'm gonna pour this over top of whatever I want my Florentine to be made out of. A lot of people will use like candied cherries or citrus glacé. It's very common for these to have like a fruit and a nut component. So we're just gonna press these down onto our Silpat. I find the Silpat helps them bake a little bit nicer, but you could surely do it with just parchment paper. We've been baking at 325 for a little bit over 10 minutes. I'd say 12 to 15. We're just gonna round them out real quick, let them set, and then like a normal Florentine, a lot of the times they also have a chocolate component. So I've tempered some dark chocolate here, and I'm just putting a little wave kind of shape on there. So our little mousse cones have fully set now, and we're just gonna try and make a carrot. Let's do our best to make a cartoon-looking, visually realistic carrot. So you see I've got an empty pop bottle. I've just dipped it in some orange kind of chocolate glaze, and it should set pretty quick due to it being frozen.
It's a carrot, I don't care what you say.
This guy was clearly having some doubts halfway through the process, but there it is. We're gonna put a little bit of chocolate on top so it looks like it's got like the root base. And just popping in a little bit of greens so it looks kind of like it has a top.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a carrot by the carrot. If it carrot, don't fucking know what I'm talking about.
So I would say that looks rather carrot-like, and if you want to bully me in the comments, go right ahead.
It's cake.
What?
Duh.
So anyways, we'll get back on track here. We're almost done. We've got an orange and ginger gel though. So we'll start by getting some honey in a pot, and I just caramelized this, or at least brought it up to temperature a little bit so it got a deeper flavor. Then we poured over our orange juice and threw in a few knobs of ginger to try and infuse it. And this is a common fluid gel ingredient. It's agar-agar. So we've got a teaspoon that we hydrated with a tablespoon of water. We're just gonna bang that into our pot, and we're gonna boil it for a minimum of 60 seconds, because that's how long you need to get it, so you can get a nice gelling effect like that. So we've let our orange juice mixture set in the fridge overnight, and now we're gonna blend it. I've added a little more orange juice, and we're just actively blending and adding until we can get a nice fluid consistency. So it helps when you get the cyclone effect. It just means you've got movement going in the blender, which is hard to get in that little magic bullet, so I'm glad we pulled through. We'll cross that off the list, and we're on to our final step, and this is super duper easy. I just wanted to have a warm component in the dessert, so we're doing a sauteed pineapple. We've just got some butter, some brown sugar, and our pineapple in a pan, and we'll just season with a touch of salt. We'll just give it until it gets nice and warm, and that little butter mixture turns into like a caramel. So we finally made it. Here we are, we're plating. Thought this would look nice on a round, so we're starting with our caramel sauce, and we'll get our cake. We're just gonna plop it down. And I got the orange fluid gel. I like doing dots. Can't help it. We figured if we're doing an orange gel, I might as well have some fresh orange as well. And there's pineapple in the actual cake, so I figured again, we might as well show that there's pineapple there. And get our mint. I've just got some crumble that I like to use to keep my ice cream from sliding around, and there's a piece of our Florentine. It looks pretty good to me. I can maybe add more of the dots even. I found that the orange was a really nice crisp freshness coming off that like deepness from the cake and the richness from the mousse. I would definitely make this again if I were presented with the opportunity. Just ask this guy.
That's fucking deadly. Nice.
Please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.